Hello, friends, and welcome. We're right now with my friend Mark Harrison, CEO of the Northern Texas PGA section. Welcome.
Hey, Courtney, glad to be here.
So you just got back from Australia. Welcome back. How was it?
Oh, mate, it was awesome. My mum and dad still live down there. I've got two sisters, nieces and nephews, so it's always good to go back to Australia. But Texas is home. That's just where I grew up.
I remember meeting your mom a couple of times.
Yeah.
And, what a great lady.
Yeah, she's awesome.
And when you were busier earlier, I was looking back in your office. I didn't see any souvenirs that you brought back.
They're already gone. I brought back some Tim Tams, some Cadbury Dairy Milk, some good stuff. I just put it out for the staff so that I don't eat it, mate. It's pretty good.
Good on you.
Yeah.
So speaking of your mom and dad and
Yeah.
going back there and just thinking about the early days,
Yeah.
who was the young Mark Harrison back in those days before you became a CEO and a leader in the game of golf?
Oh, gosh. I mean, I grew up in New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
So I was actually born in New Zealand, moved to Australia when I was 10. And then moved to the United States when I was 21. But I was into everything. You name it. If it had a ball, I played it, whether it was cricket or rugby or soccer or tennis, or I got into golf a little bit later, maybe 14 or 15. But loved anything related to sports, and obviously family and friends and stuff. It was a great place to grow up. Actually, when I moved to Australia, I ended up growing up on a place called Surfers Paradise on the Gold Coast of Australia, and it's about as nice as it sounds. So, yeah, great place to grow up. Very, very fortunate.
Back in those days, did you think about the United States? Did you think about Texas? Did you think about coming here?
Yeah, that's also a very good question. No, not really. I was fortunate enough to get into, in Australia, it's very interesting. There's only about 50 or so universities in the whole country, maybe even less than that. And if you think about Dallas-Fort Worth, we've probably got 20 in Dallas-Fort Worth alone. So only about the top quarter of all high school students get to go to university if they choose. And the other 3/4 end up going to a trade school or doing something different. They might become a mechanic or a electrician or a laborer or something. And I wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed in Australia. I had plenty of mates that were. But I scraped into university. I know my mum and dad, or certainly my mum, wanted me to be a merchant banker. I'm still not even too sure what a merchant banker is to this day. But I knew I wouldn't be very good at merchant banking because I didn't have a passion for it. But I did have a passion for sports. So I did an undergraduate degree in sports administration. And it was there that I met a professor who had come over to the United States and done his master's in sports administration at Ohio University. And so that was really the first time that the United States and possibly going to grad school over here even entered my mind.
That's great. One of my favorite stories, and I don't know if we'll get to all of them today, and I do, when I talk about being grateful that you're doing this, I know that people who know you, you don't want to talk about yourself, okay?
Not really.
And we admire that about you, but we're going to get you out of your comfort zone a little bit today. Yeah. So when you came over, if my memory serves me right, one of the first jobs you had was an intern for, was it for another section or an intern?
It was, yeah.
So unpack that for us. Because it's very, you talk about humble beginnings. This epitomizes it.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I could talk about my experience at Ohio University all day. I'll go back to the interview. So Ohio University's sports administration program is widely regarded as the #1 sports administration program in the country. It's got an incredible network of alumni. It's insane. It's probably what they're most well known for. And so I did my interview there, not in person. I did it on the telephone. Well, when you do an interview on the telephone and you live in Australia, the time difference is about 14 or 15 hours. So my interview was scheduled at 2:00 in the morning. And it was like on a Thursday night, maybe Friday morning in the United States. And, would have been Thursday afternoon in the United States. And So I did my interview on a payphone because Mom didn't have a way to call internationally. So I did my interview on a payphone with $2 coins, just pumping this thing full of $2 coins to be able to do my interview. But to make it a little bit more interesting, like I say, it was a Thursday, it might have been a Friday night, but my friends were out.
Oh, wow.
And so they were in and around that phone booth, banging on the door and stuff, trying to make it difficult for me. But I was fortunate enough to get in, and I came over. And again, growing up in a place called Surfers Paradise, and then ending up in Athens, Ohio, a couple of weeks before school started, to say it was a bit of a culture shock was an understatement.
No doubt.
Because it wasn't Surfers Paradise, but it was great. And my mom, bless her heart, I guess she was trying to save money because my flight was from the Gold Coast to Sydney, Sydney to LA, LA to Minneapolis, Minneapolis to Detroit, Detroit to Columbus. So I don't know how long it took me to get here, but it took a long, long time.
Wow.
And then my professor in Australia, he had rented a room from a family. So he'd connected me with them. And so I just rented the same room. There was a husband and wife and 3 kids, a boy about 12 and a couple girls, maybe 10 and 8. And it was awesome. They were just the most wonderful people to live with. They took me under their arm, and I only had a bike. I didn't have a car. I only had a bike.
In Ohio.
In Ohio. And I got there in the fall, and so I had to ride my bike. I was the grad assistant for the golf team there, so that helped with my tuition. But one of the things that I had to do was open the gym at 6 in the morning, through the winter when the guys couldn't practice. And so I get on my bike. It was probably about a 2-mile bike ride to the university. Wow. And it was cold, mate.
Yes.
It was really, really cold. So my internship in South Florida was awesome. I obviously didn't enjoy the cold. I was a bit of a legend around the campus there because I had this fluorescent yellow bike, and I was the only person riding a bike in the winter. And when spring rolled around and everybody started riding their bikes, they would see me, and the bike racks would fill up. They'd see me with my fluorescent yellow bike, and they were like, were you the guy that rode his bike through winter?
I love it.
And I said, yeah, that was me. And they were like, well, you can take the spot in the bike rack for sure. So, I had to get to South Florida. I wanted no part of anything cold. I was done with cold. And so there was an internship opportunity with the South Florida PGA in Coral Gables, Florida. And so I started down there, and it was great because I wasn't going to ride my bike from Ohio to Florida. I probably would have if I had to. But the mom and dad that I live with, I really had no money. And I didn't really understand how a loan worked. But I couldn't get a loan. And so they co-signed for my 1984 Honda Civic that cost $3,200. And thankfully, the McCabe's co-signed for that car, and I was able to drive it to Florida. And, as they say, the rest is history. But I did live, wasn't making much money as an intern. I was making $600 actually. And I didn't really have a place to live, so I worked out with my boss, the tournament director guy at the South Florida PGA, to be able to stay on his couch. So I was making $600 a month, and I paid him $400 to sleep on his couch.
Wow.
So that's where it started.
I need to call him on negotiating.
Yes,
pay you $600, I'll take $400 back for the couch. I hope it was a good couch.
It was all right.
It was suitable.
Yeah, it's funny. We hire all these interns, and it wasn't a great internship. Mm-hmm. It wasn't. I made copies. I stuffed letters. I did everything that kind of interns sometimes do. But I always thought to myself, if I ever had an opportunity to shape what an internship looks like, it would look a lot different. I never got a paint gun.
And you did, and we're going to talk about that.
Yeah. And so I always talk to our interns when we start.
Yeah.
And I ask them if anyone's living on anybody's couch.
That's a good way to.
Yeah, it's a great way to, and thankfully no one's put their hand up yet and said, yeah, I'm living on Kelly's couch or I'm living on Jeff or Molly's couch. So we haven't had that yet, so it's good.
Before we jump to the interns, because that's definitely on the first page of the leaderboard here.
Yeah.
Going back to Australia and seeing your family and friends, did you bump into one of your favorite mentors, or was it your parents? Who made the biggest impact on you back in Australia or back in New Zealand?
Yeah, so certainly mum and dad. You know, my dad, mum and dad both worked really, really hard. So I think my work ethic was certainly instilled by them. Had a very tight-knit group of friends. So I caught up with one of my friends when I was down there. My other best friend lives in London at the moment, so I didn't see him. But it was great to catch up with you know, my best friend from Australia when we were down there. We went out on his boat and drove around for a bit. It was lovely. As far as maybe who had the biggest impact on me, I'd have to say it's Terry Woods, the professor at Ohio, at the University of New England, where I went to undergraduate. Only because he changed the trajectory of my life and certainly my career by just saying, hey, I think you might be a decent fit at this Ohio University Masters in Sports Administration program. You should maybe have a look at it. And, you know, without that advice, I would never be here. And I do try to see him. Actually, I didn't see him this go around. I was a little tight on time. But the last time I was down there, I went down to where he lives. He's retired now, but I play golf with him. You know, I took him a bunch of PGA stuff.
Nice.
He's a lefty. So way back in the day, I actually sent him a set of left-handed clubs and stuff like that. So I try to, I just try not to forget, obviously. And any time I'm down there, I usually shoot him a text or certainly love to go see him when I can. He likes the PGA stuff.
Since he made such an impact on you, is there anything that you still use from him on a regular basis, whether it's you reflect on weekly, monthly, or whatever he poured into you? Do you still use some of that today in your walk of life?
I wouldn't say necessarily from university. I learned a lot at university, for sure. But I've had other mentors since then professionally that I would say I've learned more from. Terry was an awesome professor. He was great. But I think, when I think of Terry Woods, I think of the guy that opened the door for me to allow me to come to Ohio University.
Let's jump into the interns. How many interns have gone on to work here and to work in other capacities of golf?
Yeah, so when I first started with the Northern Texas PGA, we had one intern.
Okay.
He was great, but as our operation grew, we needed more support. We run, more than 500 events a year, golf tournaments a year. I could go on for hours about what we do here, but when you run that many events, you need a lot of people to help you. We have 25 full-time staff at the Northern Texas PGA, and we can't run all the events. Like today, I bet between the section and the State Open qualifiers and the Junior Tour and Drive, Chip and Putt, and probably a PGA Hope clinic somewhere, we've probably got 8 to 10 tournaments and events going on today.
Wow.
So it's a lot. There's more than 1,000 people being introduced to the game or playing the game today, for sure. And that happens on a daily basis. So now we hire 70 interns year round, 15 in the spring.
Went from 1 to 70.
Yeah, 15 in the spring, 40 in the summer, and another 15 or so in the fall. And we've had, I'd say, close to 800 interns now since I've been around. Started with 1, we've had now 800. And more than 250, probably approaching 275, have gone on to work in the golf business in a full-time capacity. So it's great, from PGA golf professionals to golf administrators to those in the media. They work for the PGA Tour, the United States Golf Association, the PGA of America, the LPGA. They're everywhere. It's something I'm super proud of.
When you bring them in, there has to be an immediate connection when you tell them, I started out as an intern.
Yeah.
It's got to be immediate respect, immediate. I mean, I think that's fantastic. Relative to how many staff members have you exported to the PGA Tour?
A lot.
Yes. A dozen? Close?
I think it's 8 or so on the tournament side. So every time I turn on the TV, I see one of my former guys giving a ruling on TV. There's probably 8 on the tournament side, another 3 or 4, so probably a dozen on kind of the media and marketing side or various capacities.
And since PGA Home has moved next door, how many have you sent to the home office?
Ooh. I should know these numbers. Probably about 16, maybe, full-time and interns. So a lot. I'll go back to the interns for just a second. Because Kelly, our PGA member, who's our executive director, who runs the day of the Northern Texas PGA, we always have a chance to meet all our interns and have a chat with them. And I think the thing, I always tell them the things that I look for in an employee and what we look for. But the thing I always tell them is they have to earn our recommendation. And if they earn our recommendation, we'll open doors for them. We can't get them the job, but we'll certainly open doors for them. And as you know, the golf industry is very, very small.
Yes,
so
it is.
There's 40 interns that just started maybe a month ago. Not all of them are going to earn our recommendation for sure, but if they do, we'll bend over backwards to allow them an opportunity to get their foot in the door and work in golf if that's what they want to do.
It's a great culture that really gets the most out of everybody.
Yeah, for sure. It's great. We've had, like I say, 250 or so go on to work full-time in golf, but we have attorneys, teachers. We've got 2 guys that work for the Secret Service and the President of the United States. So they go on to do everything. But I bump into them from time to time, and they always say the same thing. They loved their time at the NTPGA.
Yes.
They learned about teamwork. They learned about conflict management. They learned about how to communicate with upset parents, or maybe it's a kid that wasn't having a great day. So even though they might not have gone on to work in golf administration, the skills and the sort of life lessons they learned on the job here at the Northern Texas PGA, I think they apply day in and day out in their life. So it's good.
It's fantastic. Golf teaches us to wear a lot of different hats, and you have to wear them well.
Yeah, it does.
And that's a great responsibility.
Yeah.
Anything else? I know that you honor and recognize the interns here in the section office. Very handsome section office, and you put a spotlight on them, and that's got to be additional motivation for those coming in.
Yeah, we do. We've got the intern bullpen, Ryan Cossack, who works for the NTPGA, and his wife Quinn and their family gave us a super generous donation when we were doing a capital campaign here for this campus, and it's the Ryan and Quinn Cossack family bullpen. And so it's great. We have every single intern that's ever worked for the Northern Texas PGA, their name is on a golf ball, their university, and also the year they interned for us. And then sprinkled throughout that wall are a bunch of yellow golf balls. And those yellow golf balls are the interns that have gone on to work full-time for the NTPGA. And I would say over the course of the, 28 or 29 years that I've been here, 60 or maybe 65 have gone on to work full-time for us. So there's a lot of yellow golf balls sprinkled throughout there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very impressive. And I really enjoy hearing from people who come here and tour the section office. And they want to know, why isn't there more of these throughout the United States, which is a compliment.
Yeah.
And
thanks.
In your journey with golf, when did it strike you that I think I can make a career with this game? Was there a turning point that said, I'm going to pursue this?
Yeah. I'll go back to your question when I think you asked when I first started playing golf. Right. It was great. I actually got invited to one of my mates' birthday parties, and it was at a par 3 9-hole golf course. And again, I liked anything with a golf or anything with a ball. And I have no idea how I played, but I remember some of the par threes were pretty long and you had to use a wood, and I must have just rented some clubs. And I really enjoyed it. I think I connected and hit a couple of good ones and really enjoyed that day. And so from there, I just kind of kept it in the back of my mind that, maybe one day I'd like to play golf. Well, there was a golf club right down the street from the school that I went to, and they had an aging membership, and they came to our school and they said the first 50 kids to join the club can join for $50 a year until you're 21. And so me and a bunch of my mates all put our hands up and said, we're going to do that. So I was probably about 15 when that happened. So that's when I first started playing golf. I thought about working in golf. I knew quite quickly that I was a pretty good golfer, but wasn't going to be like a world beater. There were already kids at the golf club that I joined that were really, really good. And also kind of worked out quickly that I didn't think I wanted to become a PGA golf professional. The PGA golf professional at the club, he was an older guy and he wasn't overly friendly to kids. So he made an impression on me. I worked for him, but it wasn't necessarily an impression that would tell you that that's what you wanted to do. So that was sort of a path that I didn't think that I wanted to pursue right away. But I was really fortunate on the Gold Coast. There were a couple of big golf tournaments. They were sponsored by Japanese real estate firms. And I was able to caddy in those. And I was probably 16, maybe 17. And I caddied for an Australian golf professional, a guy by the name of Gary Merrick. He made the cut, he played great. And then I caddied for one American guy, a guy by the name of Charles Rawlinson, who played on the PGA Tour and now as a golf professional. I've seen him in Florida. And then I also caddied for a guy by the name of Steve Rintoul. He's an Australian guy. He played college golf at Oregon. And now he runs the PGA Tour. Like, he's super high up on the PGA Tour. So I think it was caddying in those tournaments that I worked out, hey, there's somebody that's putting this thing on. They're putting up the stakes and ropes. They're putting up the infrastructure for the grandstands and the tents and the portalets and the concessions and all the things. And that was when I kind of worked out that maybe that's what I might be pretty good at, would be maybe running a golf tournament or two and kind of being more of a behind the scenes guy to put the events on. So I was probably about 17 when a light bulb went off with me that worked out that maybe that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, I always like the origins of people's journey, particularly great when your journey is taking you this far.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Yeah, for sure. And the only thing I would say is that when I first came to the United States, I think my mom had brought me a one-way ticket. I'm not sure there was a ticket. There definitely wasn't a ticket back because I didn't know when I was going to come back. But I was definitely intending on going back to Australia.
Oh, okay.
No doubt about it. My thought always was I was going to get my work experience here in the United States, and then I'd go back to Australia and put what I learned into place and do it in Australia. But it was great. On the student visa I was on, I was allowed a 1-year work extent or a 1-year sort of work experience that you can get when you graduate from graduate school. And I was able to get on with the Carolinas PGA, and they knew up front that I only had a year. But I guess they were short on staff or something, or they saw something in me and gave me a chance. So I worked for them for a year. And that's actually when I met Darryl Kroll. He worked in the Carolinas PGA. And thankfully after a year, I think I did a pretty good job. They said, hey, we want to help you work out how you can stay here, and we'll help you, work on your visa stuff. And I was like, fantastic. So that's how I got to stay here. It was really, Darryl Kroll kind of, and a guy by the name of Jim Hart went to bat for me. So it was
need to reach out to those guys and tell them thank you. I'm glad you didn't go back to Australia.
Yeah, I was planning on it for sure, but there was just so much more opportunity in the United States. The golf business in Australia is small, relatively speaking. I mean, the whole country has about 40 million people, probably got about 40 million people in Texas. So, it's about the same size as far as number of golf courses and number of golf professionals in the whole country as we have here in Texas. So there was just more opportunity in the United States, and that's why I wanted to stay.
Fantastic. Going back to the early stages of your vision of being able to develop and build a standalone office for the section.
Yep.
What did that vision look like? And was there anything that really was motivating you to do that? I mean, obviously to promote the game of golf, but kind of take us from that point.
Yeah, having worked in the golf business for a while, I've traveled around the country and I've seen some other sections, and there are 41 sections in the country, and they're all very, very different geographically, size, number of members, economies that they're in. But a lot of the places that I'd seen had their own standalone offices. Some were great. And I actually had a regional meeting with the PGA of America in Tennessee. It was just a quick meeting, but I'd heard about this Golf House Tennessee. And so while I was there, I went and had a look at it, and it was awesome. To this day, Golf House Tennessee was the inspiration for what you see here, because it was an office for their section office. I think the Tennessee Golf Foundation, maybe the superintendents were there. But around this little office was a little 9-hole par 3 golf course. And it was just awesome. And I was like, man, if they can do that in Tennessee, this would have been about 2012 or 13.
Okay.
Like, if they can do that in Tennessee, surely we can do something similar in Texas. And I'd say that's when kind of the light bulb went off for me of wanting to do something bigger and better. And really, why I wanted to create something bigger and better was we were just in an office building, and you'd remember it right there off Preston Road in Dallas. And we were paying rent, and the rent was getting really expensive. And I was trying to work out how maybe I could partner with the city, because we couldn't afford the land.
Right.
Maybe I could partner with the city to do some type of long-term land lease, and we could build our own office and kind of this urban golf park that we created here, and have our own place to call home.
If I remember correctly, it seems like also your motivation, and it was painful throwing money away at rent, you wanted to throw that to develop golfers.
I did, yeah. It was a combination of I hated paying rent.
Yeah.
Kind of like a mortgage. I don't like paying a mortgage, but at least it's going towards something that eventually you will own. But yeah, it was all about hopefully creating a place that would be welcoming and friendly for kids and families to be able to come, and that was kind of the idea behind the golf park that we created. I'll never forget it. There was a little place called the North Texas Golf Center. It was right off of Walnut Hill Lane and 35. And it wasn't the best of places at all. It was in a rough part of town. They only watered the greens and the tees. But Leah Burst was the PGA golf professional there, and her husband Dick, and they were awesome. And it was just the most welcoming place for kids and families. And it was where my kids learned how to play golf from PGA golf professionals, Leah, Bruce Smith. There were others that kind of taught them along the way that were there. And I loved the place. I absolutely loved the place, because we started something called Team Golf way back in the day.
Right.
That's when that's where our team would practice. It was because it was welcoming, it was super affordable, and anybody could come there and hang out and play. You could play a group of 8, you could play a group of 2, you could play it 5 times if you wanted to. It was just that type of place. And I would say that the North Texas Golf Center was my inspiration for kind of what we ended up building out here. I just remember going there one day, seeing a sign, and it said State of Texas $1 million, City of Dallas $1 million, and they were going to build a soccer complex right across the street. And again, it was in a rough part of town, and I kind of thought it was cool that they were going to build this soccer complex. And then I was driving to Grand Prairie to see Mark Viskoski down there at Tangle Ridge one day, and I saw the same sign. It said City of Grand Prairie $3 million and State of Texas $3 million, and they were going to build a hiking bike trail, big complex. And a light bulb went off in my mind when I saw that second sign. I actually took a photo of the first sign from my car. And I thought, well, why couldn't you do the same thing? Why can't you just take existing park space, that maybe is underutilized, and turn it into what we deemed as an urban golf park.
Right.
And then maybe that urban golf park is where we could have our home site as well. And so that's kind of where it all started.
It was a long journey. There's a lot of important qualities as a leader. Patience is one of them.
Yeah.
How long did it take?
Oh, I don't know. I've got a really good timeline. For whatever reason, I don't know why, but sort of throughout the journey, I started to document all the important dates and times, and sort of just a paragraph of what happened on that day. And I think if I went back to look at it, I probably first started talking to the city of Addison, was the town of Addison, was the first people we chatted with about an urban golf park and a home site. Was probably right after that meeting in Tennessee. I bet that was 2013.
Okay.
We probably started talking to the city of Frisco in 2014. And so, we got the deal done in 2019, and I think we began construction right after that. So I think from the time we started talking to the city of Frisco to actually breaking ground was probably about 5 years. Breaking ground on the golf course. We broke ground on the NTPGA's campus in 2021 and opened at the end of 22.
You mentioned earlier approximately 500 tournaments a year for junior golf with the Ronnie Golf Park.
Yeah.
Tell us how many junior golfers are coming through here a year, or how many lessons are being given. It's got to be a few thousand.
It's the best. And I hope, I don't know if you'll capture any of this stuff today, but it's one of the best parts about coming to work, quite frankly, because, kind of over on the side of the building there, and a lot of the the moms and the dads and their kids, they'll walk that way to get to the programming. But we'll have, thousands of kids, probably close to 3,000 kids go through programming. And it's all group lessons. We start at 3. So we start the little kids at 3. So often their golf bags and golf clubs are about as tall as the kids. So we do 3 to 4-year-olds, 5 to 6-year-olds, all the way up to like 14. But it's all just group programming. So we don't do many individual lessons at all. That's not what this place is about. It's just about group and fun. And what I wanted to build there was kind of like the North Texas Golf Center, just a place that was welcoming for families and kids, where kids could be kids. And that was one of the best things about the North Texas Golf Center. I remember I've got a great photo of my son Luke's first ever birdie. And my mom was over here from Australia, and she just happened to take a photo of his swing. And the thing it wasn't the fact that he made his first ever birdie. I still remember it was a 7-iron from like 78 yards. And he went on to play college golf, and big, strong guy now. I don't even know how far he hits a 7-iron now, but a lot further than 78 yards. But what I loved about the photo, again, wasn't the birdie. He was in flip-flops, board shorts, and a T-shirt. And it was that kind of place. And that's what the Ronnie Golf Park is.
It's just wide open.
It's just wide open.
It's inviting.
You can wear whatever you want. You can run. You can roll down the bunkers if you want. The other day, there were some moms out here, and they were pushing their strollers across the green. That's okay at the Ronnie Golf Park. That's probably not okay at most places. So we just wanted to build a place.
Your mom captured that photo of Luke made his first birdie. You captured a photo of him actually hitting the first golf shot out here. While it was just
that was awesome.
Yeah.
It's up. It's up on the top of the hill there. I'll try and send it to you. I've got it somewhere. It's right up by the 5th hole of the West course. I had him hitting it down the hill. The 4th hole goes up the hill, and then the 5th hole's a great little par 3. But it's a cool shot. There was a bit of pressure on him because I said to him, "Mate, this is the first ever golf shot here at PGA
I remember seeing the image.
I didn't have a name for it, of course. I didn't know it was going to be called PGA Frisco, but I thought it was going to be a golf course.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the first ever golf shot to be hit here, hit a good one for me, would you?" And he absolutely flushed this thing. But I had a couple more golf balls in my back pocket should we need them.
Yeah. Before I talk, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the marquee names, or ask you to talk about them that
Yeah.
have gone through some of the alum of our junior program.
Sure.
And while they get legitimate spotlight and attention,
Yeah.
I know that I've heard you say it's more important that y'all are building in these young girls and these young boys
Sure.
all types of leadership qualities that you're just as excited when they go on and graduate and do something, as you mentioned, some of the interns doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
And becoming leaders in the business world, or working at charitable organizations, or with the scholarship foundations, and some of those youth coming back and working in their communities. Yeah. So I know that's super important, and I want to recognize that. Relative to when you see alumni on television, what goes through your mind? You see Angela Stanford, she's going to be this year's Solheim Cup team for Team USA.
Yeah, captain, yeah.
We've seen Jordan Spieth's journey.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks for being a part of Fairways and Friends. I'm excited to tell you that we will be featuring Damon Hack from the Golf Channel, Pat Green, country and western singer, and Tom Cohn, our friend from Golfer's Journal. As a golf professional, we love giving pointers. We love giving free tips. The Golfer's Journal, I love this publication. And let me tell you what I really love. This product from our good friends, Back 9 Skincare. This is for golfers. This is sunscreen especially designed for golfers. It's invisible. It's not oily. It's got great ingredients for your skin, made here in the USA. Check them out on social media. You'll be glad you did. You're going to love this product. We've seen Jordan Spieth's journey.
Yep.
Okay. Cody Gribble. And we get a lot of attention. You know, Mike Tirico really focused on your social media when Will Zalatoris, Jordan, and Scottie Scheffler are doing well at the Masters.
Yeah.
What do you think? What goes through your mind when you see Randy Smith and Scottie Scheffler with the PGA Championship trophy?
You know, I remember when Jordan won his first major championship when he won the Masters, and he, you know, I wasn't really around when Justin Leonard, you know, won his major. I was here, but I didn't have much to do with the programming at the time, so I couldn't really relate to Justin because I didn't watch him grow up. But when Jordan won, it's funny, when you're in the role that I'm in, you know, literally there's hundreds of thousands of junior golfers that will go through our program over the course of the last 25 years. I really only know the kids that are incredibly good, like exceptionally good. We send a note. One of the things that we do is every time a kid shoots in the 60s, we send them their scorecard and a little sticker to put on their golf bag or their water bottle or whatnot. And I always sign a letter and I write a note. And so I see all those names, and there are some names you see a lot more often than others. And so I really only know the exceptionally good ones, and then I also know the kids that cause challenges.
Right.
When you've got thousands of kids, obviously you're going to run into some kids and parents that maybe don't necessarily have their best behavior or follow the rules or whatnot. So at times I need to meet those folks too. But I just remember when Jordan won, because I watched Jordan grow up. I literally kind of watched him grow up. I remember, this was funny, he was playing on our junior tour, and we started something in conjunction with the Southern Texas PGA and the Texas Golf Association called the Legends Junior Tour. And it's the very top of the playing pyramid for junior golfers in the state of Texas. If you're a really good junior golfer, you kind of matriculate through the NTPGA or STPGA's programs, and eventually the goal would be to end up on the Legends Junior Tour. Well, they all have, whether it's Scotty or Will or Jordan or you name them, all the kids that are coming now, they all played tons on the Legends Junior Tour. Well, I remember Jordan's dad called me because the Legends Junior Tour was for kids 13 to 18. And Jordan was 12 and he wanted to play in one of these tournaments. And Jordan's dad called me and said, hey, my son would like to play. You can have a look at his scores. He's pretty good. And I looked at his scores and I said, yeah, no problems. We'll get you out there. And I happened to be at that tournament. And I remember I watched him tee off. I don't know if I did a little stint there with the Legends Junior Tour back in like 2007, 2008, where I was just getting started, that I kind of ran it. That would have been about the time that Jordan was playing. But I remember watching Jordan, and he birdied 1, 2, and 3. And I called his coach, Cameron McCormick.
Oh, yes.
And I said, Cameron, I could teach this kid. This kid's really, really good. Keep teaching him and keep doing what you're doing. It's awesome. But I'm telling you, I could teach this kid. Right. He's really, really good. So, watching kids grow up and then having them, win on the biggest stages is awesome. But you go back to like a Randy Smith and a Scotty Scheffler, same thing. I know Scotty and his family since they were younger, because they were really great. But when you see like Randy Smith, on a world stage, I guess maybe I don't take it for granted at all that the number one player on the planet grew up on our junior tour, and his coach has his name all over our campus.
Yeah, it's very special.
But it's just incredible.
It's hard to describe.
Yeah, really. We're really, really proud of.
Randy actually gave me inspiration to work on this project, because we were sitting at a national meeting. We were there a little bit early before the program started, and he's told a story, and you told a story, somebody else told a story. And Randy says, we ought to have maybe in our section meeting, just a kind of a breakout session where, some of the guys that have put on a few miles might share some of their stories. So it's, he's special. And
he's the best.
Joining us here.
But I'll tell you, so for every Scotty Scheffler and Jordan Spieth, there are tens of thousands of kids you'll never, ever hear of.
Right.
And those are the kids that we really serve, because those are the kids that go on to join golf clubs and country clubs and play municipal golf and play golf at public courses, or maybe they play college golf, but likely they don't. They just go on and play golf. They're supporting the golf ecosystem in Dallas-Fort Worth and across North Texas now. And I think that's the thing that I'm probably most proud of is those kids, more so than, a Scotty or Jordan. They're the best, or Angela. They're incredible, and they're so giving, and they never forget where they came from. But for every one Angela, Jordan, or Scotty, there's probably 50,000 other kids that you won't hear of.
Mate, share with us your thoughts and experience about just connections in the game, because it's touching so many lives now, from those that are just getting into golf and those that have been playing for a long time.
Yeah, to me, I was just thinking about our junior golfers, because that's maybe what we do the most. Our player pathway is awesome. It starts here at the Ronnie Golf Park with our summer camps and opportunities for kids. Those are happening all over North Texas at every facility. But something that I'm really, really proud of is the Randy Smith Tour. And it's an introductory tour for kids of really from 6 to 12, but from all backgrounds. There's no charge to play. And it just, if any kid is interested in learning how to play, the Randy Smith Tour is the spot for them to be. And you could be paired with anybody. Kids that are picking up the golf club for the first time, through to, I'm sure that Scotty Scheffler and Jordan Spieth kids will play on the Randy Smith Junior Tour one day. And, those kids could be paired together. And that's the best part about the game, is just the friendships you make. So, mate, it's the most wonderful sport, and it's something that we're pretty proud of out here with the Northern Texas PGA and our junior tour and the people that support it.
Mate, share with our listeners the exciting and just incredible beneficial, the player pathway, and what all that does for the players.
Yeah, junior golf in North Texas it's incredible. And I think if you were to ask me, why Scotty Scheffler or Jordan Spieth or Will or Angela, why are they so good? I would give you a pretty simple answer. We've got an incredible player pathway from all the camps and lessons and everything that happened at all the facilities over North Texas. But then they get connected with us. They start out on the Randy Smith Junior Tour. or the Randy Smith Tour, which is entry level, kids 6 to 12, team based, fun, free, just a blast. Again, no cost to play. From there, they move into 9-hole individual events on our Ewing Automotive Prep Tour. And then from there, they move to the Ewing Automotive Medalist Tour, which is 18-hole individual events. And then from there is the 2-day, 36-hole All-American Tour events. Those are the kids that are playing in high school and are aspiring to play in college. And then for the very, very top of the playing pyramid, the best playing kids playing the Legends Junior Tour here in Texas, which is also pretty incredible. So,
very intentional, produces great results.
It does. The junior, the player pathway is one thing. Mm-hmm. The other two things that I've missed or didn't miss, but we need to touch on, is the fact that you can play year round here.
Yes.
You know, it can be really tough in the winter and the spring here with being cold and dormant and wet and Bermuda grass and windy and all the things. I think that's why, you know, Ben Hogan behind me and things, Mr. Trevino, you name them, they're great ball strikers. But I think the thing that's, in addition to the player pathway, the thing that really connects us to the kids is the PGA of America golf professionals that coach these kids. And they're all over North Texas. But if I'm to think of a few, obviously Randy Smith, who's taught so many great players, Cameron McCormick the same, Joey Anders at Brookhaven where Jordan first started, Joey nurtured Jordan, to you name them. They're all over North Texas. But without the PGA of America golf professionals in our section that nurture and kind of shape and mold these kids, not only on the golf course, but off the golf course, it really doesn't happen. So the combination of the PGA of America golf professionals, the fact that you can play year round here, and that we've got an awesome player pathway is why we produce so many great junior golfers.
It's an extraordinary, healthy greenhouse of development and results.
It is.
Mate, I'd be remiss if I didn't say congratulations. This year, you'll be inducted into the Texas Golf Hall of Fame in October in San Antonio. What ran through your mind when you got the phone call? And I want to know how the phone call went. Who developed all this news that let you know that you're in the Texas Golf Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I knew I was nominated and had submitted an application. I didn't really know what the timeline was, but I'd been on the other end of a lot of those telephone calls where I'd facilitated and sort of, you know, put people off the scent, and then they call and there's a lot of people on the call, and that's when you announce that you're somebody has been inducted into the Texas Golf Hall of Fame. So I knew how it worked. But Cameron Doan, he got me. He got me really good. He said we were going to talk about some initiative that the Texas Golf Hall of Fame had. So it was something that they were thinking about trying to do. And so I jumped on the call with Cameron, and sure enough, the screen lights up and there are all kinds of people on the call wanting to wish me congratulations. So yeah, it was a pretty surreal moment, and one I certainly won't forget. And I'm very, very thankful and pretty humbled by it.
We're so excited, and I remember it wasn't eavesdropping, but I walked by Cameron and Ira at an event, and I heard them talking about it. I go, oh wow, this is going to be great. And then it happened, and I think it's easy to say that the Texas Golf Hall of Fame has to be one of the richest Golf Hall of Fames in the United States. That's not being braggadocious. We're just laying out the facts.
Yeah.
Is it not rich or what?
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak for Florida or California or Iowa or Michigan. I'm sure there are tons of incredible state Golf Hall of Fames, but I have a hard time believing anybody can top Texas. If you even just look at the number of Texans that are in the World Golf Hall of Fame, it's a crazy number. Before
I learned about the Texas Golf Hall of Fame, I was amazed about how many Texans win the British Open, or the Open Championship, excuse me. I think the state of Texas owns more green jackets from Augusta than anyone else. So it's those weather conditions, it's those tough conditions, it's the culture, and it's something that we're very proud of.
Yeah.
And we're proud for you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And looking forward to that dinner. It's going to be fantastic.
It'll be a great night. Yeah, thanks, Courtney.
20 years from now,
Yeah.
what would you hope to see with the North Texas section, the foundation, and all of it, all that it provides, the benefits? 20 years from now, what do you envision it looking like?
Yeah, our mission is to serve our PGA of America golf professionals here in North Texas and grow the game. So I think 20 years from now, I would love to see more Ronnie golf parks.
Right.
Because when you think of the Ronnie Golf Park, which is the urban golf park we have outside here today, it hits on both those. It serves the PGA of America golf professionals because we employ them. I think we probably employ close to 10 PGA of America golf professionals here, a lot part-time, 3 full-time. And it grows the game. Again, you've got thousands of kids being introduced to the game here at a super affordable way, an entry point into the game. So I think 20 years from now, I would hope we have a lot more Ronnie golf parks throughout North Texas.
One thing I don't want to admit, and again, you're super humble, I think one of the things that gets overlooked when all of this was coming together was the fundraising you did, one-man show.
It was
COVID.
Team effort.
COVID.
Yeah.
Who raises 10 million, 7 million, 8 million during COVID?
Yeah, it was about 10 million.
For golf?
Yeah, we did. The NTPGA did. It was a bad time to start a fundraiser. Well, you were the president.
I had a front row seat. I was cheering you. I was in the gallery cheering you on.
Yeah, it was great. I remember at the annual meeting.
Don't throw me in there.
No.
It was you.
No, you were the president, and we wanted to kick off our capital campaign with our PGA members, like you remember. And you announced the capital campaign in February of 2020. It was maybe like February 13 or February 12. We kicked it off to our members and let them know what we were doing. And then we asked for $1,000 over the course of 5 years. So you did a beautiful job of sort of explaining to them that that's only really a couple golf lessons a year for 5 years. For $1,000, your name will go at the NTPGA's headquarters. It will also go in the foundation of the building. And so we kicked it off, and I think we had 183 members and associates and staff donate $404,000 over the course of maybe 3 or 4 months. And it was then that I believed that we could do it. Yeah. We had so many of our members just say, hey, I'm in, I'll support, $1,000, $5,000, maybe $25,000 is what some of our members and associates and staff and things donated. So that's when I kind of believed that we could do it. And then we just kind of rolled our sleeves up and raised the other, 9.5 million.
In a moment, we're going to go to rapid fire. But before we do that, if someone comes to talk to you about being involved in the section or being involved in the foundation to help support, what do you tell them?
Well, it depends on who they are and what they're wanting to do. If they're somebody that's thinking about getting into the golf business and maybe becoming a PGA of America golf professional, I love chatting with those guys and girls. They're great because often they're former junior golfers or interns of ours. So I'll spend as much time as they would like talking about the golf business and then the career paths that becoming a PGA member allows you the opportunity to do. And then if it's others that are wanting to talk about the foundation, whether it's potentially volunteering, we don't have a ton of volunteers. We have a lot of paid interns that help us facilitate all our programming and PGA members that help us do PGA Hope and things like that. But it might be a potential donor. I just listen to them. We've got 5 pillars: junior golf, college scholarships, internships, inclusion, and then military and veterans. And so somebody, if I've got a golfer from Boot Ranch or a golfer from Royal Oaks Country Club, they've got some connection to one of those 5 pillars. Maybe they were a junior golfer. Maybe they got a scholarship. Maybe their dad is a veteran. I just listen to what they have to say and then try and work out what a partnership might look like.
It's really great stuff. I want to ask you your thoughts next year on the 2027 PGA Championship right here in our backyard. Your thoughts on that?
Oh, it'll be amazing. You know, it was really surreal for me when we had the 2023 Senior PGA Championship.
Yes, yeah.
So we had the 23 Senior, we had the 25 Women's, and we're going to have the 27 PGA Championship, and then that kind of cadence will start again. But I think it really hit me back in 2023. We lobbied to have a PGA of America golf professional from Northern Texas hit the first tee shot and play in the tournament. That was something that was very important to me. It was important to our board. It was important to our membership. And so we had a plan in place if one of our members didn't qualify, but thankfully Cameron Doan did qualify out in New Mexico, and he got into the tournament, and then the PGA of America allowed him to hit the first tee shot. And it was great. He asked me to caddy for him for the first hole, which was the best. It was so great. But I think I was more nervous than Cameron on that first tee, but he absolutely
smoked it.
Flushed.
And he even looked at the camera for social media. Not that he knew that was going to be used, but he said, "I smoked it." You know?
Yeah.
Joe Black was there.
Yeah, it was the best.
But before that, you hopped on a plane to go cheer him on the final round.
I did.
And horrible weather,
Yeah.
horrible conditions. I think you brought some cart gloves and some hand warmers.
Yeah, he was playing good. Yeah, but it was turning
But
cold.
you cheered him on.
Oh, yeah. I went out to New Mexico. I wanted to see that and be there to hopefully get him help him get across the finish line. He didn't need my help. He played great. But that first tee shot was amazing. And I think that was, you know, I saw it all happening, and I was out here every day during construction and you know, literally watched the thing come out of the ground. But that's when it really kind of hit me, I think, was that opening tee shot, and that it was actually happening. I remember walking down the fairway. I was kind of a little bit behind Cameron, and I was just like, wow, you know,
it's incredibly special.
This is happening.
And that's something you always have to savor and appreciate, and he does. And his son caddied for him.
Yeah.
He had a great competition. He represented quite well.
Oh,
almost
he played great.
Ended up winning as low club pro.
Low club pro. Yeah. He made the cut.
He was very close.
Yeah, it was awesome. I remember he smoked this drive. I bet he hit it about 300 yards. Then he hit a second shot, and he wanted about 100 yards. No, he wanted less than that. It was like 90 yards, which I think is like probably a full 60 for him. And so he kind of worked out what he wanted to hit to have 90 yards. And so he hit it, and there's a great shot of he and I talking. And sure enough, we get down there, and we were able to use rangefinders. So I shot the yardage, and I turned to him. I said, "Well, what do you think you got?" And he said, "Is it 90?" And I said, "Yeah, you got 90 yards." So anyway, he hit a little bit long and left on the green. He had a downhill kind of straight putt, but downhill 30-footer. I helped him read that one, and he hit it left it about 5 feet short. I wanted no part of the next putt. I mean, zero part of the next putt. I'm like, man, I know I'm only caddying for one hole.
Yeah.
He just needs to read this. He just needs to knock this in. And sure enough, he knocked it in. He made par, and I gave the bag to Tristan, his son, and the bib, and yeah, I'm even par as a caddy out here. It's not too bad.
It was not only epic, but it was historic because it was the first shot.
Oh, God,
I think he was paired with Harrison Frazier and also
Stankowski. Yeah, it was great. The PGA of America was awesome.
Yeah.
Because Paul was Cameron's roommate in college at UTEP. And then Harrison's a former junior golfer of ours as well, who Cameron knows really, really well. So I wanted it to be an all North Texas pairing, and those guys both live here. And so I talked to Kerry Haig, and I said, hey, if by chance it happens to work out this way, he said, hey, no guarantees, we'll just see what happens. And sure enough, it was Cameron, Paul, and Harrison in that first group. I remember because Cameron hit that first tee shot. I think Paul hit the second shot, and he couldn't get the tee in the ground.
Yeah.
And even he said, oh, my gosh, I'm nervous. Yeah. So,
yeah, no.
Yeah, it was cool. It was really cool.
All right, we're going to go with some rapid fire. Favorite golf course that you've ever played? One of your favorite golf courses?
I mean, I'd say the North Texas Golf Center, just because that's where my kids learned how to play over there. I love that place.
I know you do.
I love that place. I don't know, mate. I've been very fortunate to play some good ones. I'll say the East Course here at Fields Ranch.
Okay.
Just because I watched it come out of the ground.
Fantastic. Best club in your bag?
Driver's pretty good. I hit my driver well.
Yes, you do.
I had this Adams driver forever, and I just switched it out. And it was like 30 years old. I just now switched it out.
What's a golf course you would love to play but you haven't played yet?
Cypress Point.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, no, St. Andrews.
St. Andrews.
Yes, both those.
Okay.
I'm hoping to knock St. Andrews out here sooner rather than later, and then maybe I can get Cypress Point off the list too.
Best 18-hole score?
It's got an asterisk,
Okay.
64.
I like it.
32 on the front nine in Lismore in Australia, where I went to college, and then it was getting dark, so I had to come back the next day and finish the back nine. I shot 32 on the back nine too. It was past 70, so 6 under. But that wasn't all in one round. Probably in 18 holes itself, maybe 69.
Okay. When the section was having so much momentum and growth and being recognized at the Herb Graffis Award, and just another one again, I think last year.
Yeah.
You created and registered hashtag Who's Next.
Yeah.
And then the momentum kept going, and I think it was Paul Ernest or someone said we might have to create another hashtag What's Next.
Yeah.
So as we come to a close, we want to hear, what do you think is next for you?
You know, that's a good question, Courtney. I think what's next for me is right here at the Northern Texas PGA. I have no desire to leave or do anything else. My family lives here. We were able to relocate the PGA of America, help them relocate from Florida to Texas. I work for the best PGA members in the country. I really, really do. And then we've got an incredible staff, and we've got great pillars around our foundation, and I love what I do. Like, I really love what I do. And I don't really run the day-to-day anymore, which is nice. My role as the CEO is to kind of cultivate the relationships and work with the board on the big ideas of what is next. We'll never be able to do what we did out here again, and that's okay. We don't want to build another 45-hole complex and resort and help relocate the PGA of America to Texas. That's done. We don't want to do it again for sure. But as far as what's next for the NTPGA, well, I think Mark Harrison. I think also what's next for the NTPGA. So what's next for the NTPGA? Again, I've already said it, but I'd love to build more of the golf parks. They're incredible, mate.
Yeah,
They're
really
absolutely incredible. And again, they hit on the mission of serving the member and grow the game. So I think, if I could build another 10 of them, I say it's not me, it's the Northern Texas PGA and our foundation. If we could work out how to build another 10 of these, that would be pretty great. We're working on another one, not far from here at the moment. So hope to get that. We might be able to break ground on that around the PGA Championship next year. That'd be a nice announcement that we're working towards. So hopefully that pans out.
Mate, it's been great. It's been very special. We're so grateful for you, the relationships you've built, and I love seeing you interact with our supporters, Dr. Bill Blair, Finn Ewing and Finn Ewing's son, and others, Jerry Ransom and so many. The foundations that support us, so I love that, and thank you for everything you've done. It's been great having you here. Ladies and gentlemen, Fairways and Friends, thank you for being a part of this great episode number 4 with Mark Harrison. In the meantime, may your fairways be wide, your friendships run deep, and I hope to see you in the fairway real soon.